All right, let's do this. Here we go. 3, 2, 1. Joining us on this episode of Flyers Daily, congratulations are in order because he's got a new 3-year contract. It is Flyers goaltender Carter Hart. Has to feel good to get that out of the way, the business part.
For sure it is. Yeah, now it's time to just go play.
Do you let that like kind of creep in your head as negotiations are going on, and you know it's going to work? Maybe you don't know it's going to work out, but finally getting pen to paper is a different story. As you kind of fret about it a little bit because you don't know exactly what it's going to be.
Yeah, I mean, I think I let my agent take care of it. Judd Moldaver, he's awesome. I love him. He did a great job for me. But I think you just kind of let him handle the business side, and it was lucky that we were able to get a deal done, and it was everything worked out. So no, I'm just really excited to have it done, and now just to be able to go play and get ready here to go back to camp here soon.
You've always had a great support system around you. I know when you first came up, your billet parents were there, and having people in your life as you're coming up through this hockey journey through junior, then to the AHL and NHL. Having guys like your agent. Are you someone that likes to ask for a lot of detail, or do you just say just hit me on the big stuff, man?
Yeah, I just let him handle it. I let him handle it. He knows what he's doing. Actually, at the end of the season, I went down to LA with my buddy from back home here, Nolan. We went down to visit him there for a week in LA, and that was my first time actually meeting him because I actually just switched agents during COVID, the beginning of COVID, so I never got the chance to meet him. Because he was in Canada before during this season, Toronto, couldn't come down to the States, and then when he went back to the States, we went down and met him for the first time face to face. So that was pretty crazy. He was my agent for over a year, and I hadn't met him yet.
Wow.
But so I went down there and hung out with him, and he's awesome. Like, great guy, really cares, and really thankful for everything he's done for me so far and for getting this deal done.
It's so important to have good people around you, isn't it? That care, and for the right reasons and not the wrong reasons.
Yeah, you need those people. You need the people that care about you and just want to see you succeed and want to help you in any way they can. And sometimes those people are hard to find. So when you find them, you got to really trust them and hold on to them.
Well, that's the thing you just mentioned. I mean, you had your agent for a year. You didn't get to meet him. All of the isolation and everything last year. I know you've mentioned it played. Got into your head. It's going to get into anybody's head. I think people have to realize that even though you guys are professional athletes and you can do some superhuman things, you are still human.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know about superhuman, but
You can move in
yeah,
some superhuman ways.
we're just people, and I mean, at the end of the day, we're people first before hockey players, and I think this year was definitely challenging for everybody, and I tried people in a lot of different ways, but um, we're coming out on the bright side now with things are getting back to normal. I mean, here's pretty much everything normal in Alberta, so and I'm not sure how things are down in Philly right now, but I'd assume kind of the same thing. And next year I have a full house, so that'll be really exciting to play in front of a full stadium again.
What was your off-season decompression like, and was it different than prior years? Like how do you
Yeah,
go through that process to let it go?
a little different this year. Like, I flew down my best friend from here, Nolan Volkin, came down to Philly there for a couple of days. We just hung out, golfed, played in a golf tournament. Then we went to LA to see Judd there for a week and hung out, met some cool people. I ended up golfing with Charlie Day from Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
Oh, nice.
So that was really cool. We got to the course, and Joe Pesci was golfing behind us. So that was pretty cool. It was a sick course. We're playing at this course called Lakeside, and it's in the middle of Hollywood, like right by all the studios. And the guy was telling us that we played with, he was a Netflix producer, and his name was Chad. So Chad was telling us that all these celebrities come and play this course like all the time during like their shooting, like when they're shooting movies and stuff, because it's right
Yeah.
there. And it was a really nice course. We got there, and Nolan's favorite show was Always Sunny in Philadelphia. So he's like, I think that's Charlie Day on the putting green there. And I was like, oh yeah, that is. And he comes up and introduces himself and says he's going to be playing with us today. And so like
Oh,
we were on the first tee, and I remember I was so nervous because these guys are watching us tee off, and I'm just like, please don't shank one or top one, whatever.
how'd you hit him?
Not bad actually. like I came down and I lost 2 balls at the beginning, and I think I had like only 2 left, and I was like, it'd be really embarrassing if I had to ask one of these guys for a golf ball. So I'm
Yeah.
like, I gotta dial it in here.
Yeah, you're like, I'm usually better than this. I can play one ball through the whole round. I don't pack a
Well,
lot in my bag.
courses in Alberta are probably a little more winter burned than the courses out in California. Like, I mean, our greens, some courses here are really nice, but our greens are nothing compared to some of those courses that we played out there. It was like their fairways are like our greens. It was
Yeah,
crazy.
plush. You know, that's a great way to start that decompression process. Let that go. Did you seek out any advice from any other NHL guys or guys that played in the league this offseason? You know, you've been in the league a few years now. It was a tough year for everybody. Your environment, which I've talked about it 1,000 times on the ice, was not optimal. It's maybe the best word I can use or most sensitive word I can use. But did you seek out any advice from any people throughout the league?
I mean, just my
Yep.
close friends, the people that I've trusted for a long time. Dustin Schwartz, my goalie coach, my sports psych guy, John Stevenson. The people that I trust the closest. That's who I really get into detail with my conversations, and those are the people that I trust to have those conversations with and get advice from. And like I said, I mean, I really trust those people. I wouldn't be here without them. So um, I think those are the people that I trust the most and
Really,
to have those conversations with.
really important for you to kind of verbalize everything.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. I mean, like it's good sometimes to get some of those things out. And I mean, this year obviously it didn't go very well for myself and for our group, but it's in the past and we can learn from it. And we are going to learn from it. And next season's a clean slate for everybody. And I know we're all just so excited for a new start, a fresh start, and some new faces coming in. And we're going to have a great squad and we're going to have a great year.
Let me ask you about because there's this notion. Carter Hart's never faced adversity. This is the first time he's ever faced adversity. I say to people, this guy played for his country. In Canada, that is a ton of pressure, and you've been in these situations. You've faced adversity. What you do with adversity and learning from it is all that matters going forward. How do you take that and channel it right to where you want it to go?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, you have to learn from it. You want to approach it the right way. I mean, when things don't go your way, you can't let it get the best of you. You just have to move on, learn from it, and then put it in the past. Like, past is the past. You got to live in the present. And right now, we've made some great changes this year. We've lost some great guys, but I mean, it's the business of hockey. But I think the additions coming in are going to help our group. And all I can think about now is, for myself at least, is just worrying about getting better this off season, and then looking forward to the camp here in the fall. Um, so I think our future is bright, but for right now, just got to stay in the present moment.
Did you watch the NHL playoffs when you get done playing after a season and in that decompression period? Do you watch or do you kind of just avoid the game for a period of time?
I did watch quite a bit actually. I was rooting for Price and the Canadians. To be honest, it was cool to see him make a run, and I mean, he's been in the league for a long time. He's paid his dues. I still think he's one of the best, if not the best, goaltender in the NHL, and the guy that I really look up to. So I was really cheering him on and hoping that they were going to beat Tampa Bay, but Tampa Bay's team was just too
Oof.
strong, and they had a lot of firepower.
Yeah, it was ridiculous. That team that could go down as one of the most talented teams in the history of the game when you look back on it
Sure.
years down the road. Let me ask you about because Carey. One of the things about his game, Carey Price, is that he's beating a lot of he's like Tiger Woods in a way where he's beating the opponent mentally, and then there's this notion that the shooter has to be so precise. So you see a lot of shots go wide because you know it, he's in their head. How do you get inside a shooter's head as a goalie in a reactive position?
I don't know. I mean, I think Carey Price has been one of the top NHL goaltenders for a very long time, and I mean, I think you see it when we do that NHLPA players poll every year, and they ask who do you want in the net for Game 7, and they always say Carey Price. So yeah, I think it's the players know that he's one of the best, if not the best. So maybe that's what gets in their head.
Yeah, it does, and look, it's an earned reputation that until proven otherwise, he's going to carry. When you're watching other guys in those playoffs and just in general, seeing the way save selection, some of the things they do, the way they approach certain situations, do you kind of like write some things down and go, that's interesting. Let me see if I can kind of, when I get back on the ice, maybe try some elements, put my own spin on it. Do you still do that even after being in the league a couple of years, or is it more rigid than that?
I mean, sometimes. I mean, it just depends on kind of what you're watching for. I mean, this off or when I first got back here, just kind of decompressing and just watching some hockey with my dad, pretty much. Not really dissecting
Just
anything.
watching the game, not just the goalie.
Yeah, just kind of watching the game with my dad, with my parents, and um, not really because usually when I'm watching hockey, it's usually game film, so there's not a lot
Yeah.
of time when you're watching an actual hockey game.
You're back on the ice now. When did you go back on the ice, and what's it like? This off season is a lot different, just from a biorhythmic standpoint. You're going to play hockey in the fall this time. You're not starting in January, and playing hockey last summer. This time last year, you guys are in the bubble. You're taking on Montreal, Montreal last year in the bubble. So, getting back into that biorhythm. How long have you been back on the ice, and what's it feel like?
Yeah, it's good. Been good. I mean, I've been on the ice for about a month now. Started the first week of July, so just over a month, and it's been really good. We've got in a lot of good work here with my goalie coach Dustin Schwartz. Kim Dillwall came out for a little bit on the ice with us, and we've had a really good progressive summer, and it's been really good.
You talk about progressive summer. When I always say, goalies got to get out and do skating drills, and a lot of people don't understand what that means. For a goalie, goalie skating's a lot different, obviously. What's kind of like the levels of progression? You just get out and start moving. When do you bring pucks in, and all those things?
Yeah, I mean, I got on the ice with my dad the first time. Like, I just got out there, put my gear on because I was off the ice for about a month and a half. So,
Yeah.
and I was coming back from injury too. So I had to make sure my knee was fully healed and strong and ready to go. So just got out there with the gear and just skated around. I mean, maybe dropped down on my knees like twice, and that was it. Then slowly, gradually get into it. Then obviously the second ice time I got out with Schwartzy and just basic like open shooting, foundational things, and before we really dive into things.
Movement patterns and all those things. One of the things last year you talked about in the beginning of the season was you're going to. I think the quote was play with your depth a little bit. That is a kind of a big change because everything's different from a different depth. Do you anticipate going back to a more conservative depth?
No, I mean it's all situational.
Yep.
When where shooters are, or where players are, where the puck is. It all depends on. There's a ton of different factors in the game, and I mean it's just about playing with where you feel comfortable. And sometimes like, you can play around with areas that you're not comfortable playing in, and that's what the summer's for, to try those different areas out, different depths, and to see where you're actually. Hey, maybe I could actually play at this depth because my skating's good this way. So just trying things out and playing around with it, I think is good to do in the summer.
One of the things too about a normal off season is you get to test gear. You and I both love gear. That's one of the big reasons it brings a lot of people to it. You tested new gear this summer. I know you didn't last year because you didn't feel like you had the time with the way things kind of played out. Are you testing new stuff this year?
No, not,
You like what you have with the True?
I do love the Trues. They're the same pad pretty much as what I was wearing with CCM before. So
E-Flex 4?
really, yeah, so I really like that pad. And, I don't really want to tamper with it too much. I'm not a guy who likes to make a lot of switches. So if I like something, I like to stick with it. The only thing I maybe play around with is sticks, but that's about it.
Yeah, you've always been using the Bauer stick. I know the True stick has been, a lot of players have been picking it up. Have you had a chance to mess with that at all? And what's the feel for you that you're looking for with the stick to convince you to change?
I mean, it's just the feel, and mainly for me, it's like lightness. Like the Bowers are so light, and then just when I'm playing the puck behind the net, I like to have a little zip on my pass. So I'm not a guy who likes to sauce pass up the ice. Like if I'm making a pass, like usually it's going to be right along the ice. I like to get a little flex in my stick, and Bauer I find just has a good flex there for me, and that I'm used to. And I've tried with other ones, and I'm still trying with other ones to try and find that flex for me. But I think when I look for in a stick is kind of like that flex, and then just the lightness and feel and how pucks kind of come off my blade.
Yeah, the balance of it too, right?
For sure, for sure.
Yeah. Let me ask you. You got to play with Brian Elliott. He's moving on, and he's going to be down in Tampa this year with the two-time Cup champs. What was your experience like with Brian Elliott? 500 games this year. It's a big deal. I mean, the guy was a ninth-round draft pick, second to last pick taken out of Wisconsin. Totally changed his game, and is a self-made NHL goalie. What was that experience like, getting to play alongside Moose?
Oh, I love Moose. I know I had to see him go. And he's done a lot for me. He's been a great mentor to me, a great friend, a great teammate to all of us. So I think definitely disappointed to see him go. And I mean, I've heard great things, nothing but great things about Jonesy. So I'm looking forward to playing with him and seeing him here in the fall. But no, I loved playing with Moose. We had a lot of great times together, and I'm going to cherish those times for sure. But I mean, can't wish him nothing but good luck in Tampa Bay, and hope he has some fun down there in Florida.
Yeah, to get 500 games in the league, only I
Oh,
think
and
like
that
70 some
500
goals.
is the same, I think, as an NHL player playing 1,000
Yeah,
for sure.
totally agree. A lot of the goalies in the division, this Metro division, from a goaltending standpoint, is fascinating. With this Russian invasion of Sorokin, Samsonov, and Shesterkin, it looks like they all got deals done on the same day you got yours done. And Mackenzie Blackwood, of course, in New Jersey as well. They had Bernier. But when you look at it, and you guys are all roughly around the same age, young goaltenders in the league, is there kind of a pseudo competition amongst you guys? All being in the same division.
I mean, not. I don't think so. I mean, I think everybody just strives to be their best, and I want to be the best, and that's not just in the East Division. That's in the whole league. So I think we all just work to be at our best, and that's about it.
It's it's crazy that there's all these guys at roughly that same age coming in though at the same time. This is rare. I mean, when you came into the league, it was like, oh my god, look how young he is, and you're 3 years in now. As you're 3 years in, you feel like you're kind of prepared differently with all the knowledge you have now.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely been a roller coaster. Like with two COVID seasons, kind of. Well, I guess the one season being ended short with COVID, and then going into this season. I guess this was probably the COVID season, you could call it.
Yeah.
So, I mean, next year will be my first full NHL season, and it's been 3 years. So that's pretty crazy.
That's wild, yeah. Because you come up in the first year, get your first NHL action, you're a call up. Then the next year they cut it short, and you go to the bubble, and then that past year, that's wild to think about. But that's how things have been.
Yeah.
You get the contract. Any special first purchases? Car, guitar, golf
Uh,
club.
Probably not. I mean, I got my dad a new truck for Father's Day, so that was pretty cool.
Dude, that's kid of the year award right there.
Yeah, he was pretty pumped. So, um, yeah. So yeah, he was always talking about getting a new truck. So yeah, it's the least I could do, So, um, I don't know. I'll just save my money. I think.
Oh man.
All the boys are chirping me about maybe I should get a new place in Philly, or I got a team dinner on the board for the first game. That's for sure.
Oh, no doubt. Are you playing any music this summer? I know it's one of those things. You and I have talked about it offline. It's really good to free your mind, to and just kind of escape into it. And you've gotten into playing the guitar, and it's been like a savior of my life. It's cathartic as anything I can do. Have you been playing a lot of music this summer?
A little bit more so at my parents. Like I actually just moved out this summer for the first time, so every time I'm home in the summer, I usually just live at home. But this year I was kind of like, maybe it's time to move out. And I mean, I'm only like 20 minutes from my parents, so I'm still over there like 5 times a week. Bring
Go
some
for dinner and laundry.
Yeah, exactly. But no, like I got a couple of noise complaints the first couple of weeks from guitar. So yeah, so I mostly just play it when I go to my parents.
Yeah, we got to with that new contract. We got a soundproof room in there. You can crank it up,
Yeah.
take it up to 11 like Spinal Tap. Well, congrats on the deal, Carter. I know that you're looking forward to getting back this season. Everybody's looking forward to it. All the changes, and everybody's hoping for a great year. Enjoy the rest of the summer. Good luck with the training and work with Dusty this summer up there up at Schwartzy, and we'll be seeing you soon, man. It's right around the corner.
Yeah, I know. Looking forward to it.
Awesome, beautiful.